guys, welcome to Previewed, where friends don't let friends review movies alone.
I'm Adam.
I'm Jay.
And today we're going to react, review, riff, and at the end we're going to rate the brand new Marvel film that came out this weekend, Thor Love and Thunder.
Woo!
This video is broken up into a couple parts. This first part here is going to be a no spoiler section. Is the non-spoiler section going to haunt kids in the woods and murder them one by one on Friday the 13th,
now.
Jay?
That's right. That's right. The non-spoiler section brought to you by Spooky Spooky Ghosts. Also, Pepperidge Farm.
By Crystal Lake. Okay, that was really
And then
weird.
what are we doing after that?
The spoiler section after that.
And then Shuffleboard.
And then the shelf, yes. Thank you, Cruise Director Jay.
Yes, indeed.
So Jay, with no spoilers, what did you think of Thor Love and Thunder?
It's alright. It's good. I mean, I had fun.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. It's good. Okay. It's a fun movie.
It's fun.
I think I should go see it. It's a lot of fun.
It's fun. It's funny.
It's you know what? It's very funny.
It's hilarious.
Natalie Portman's really great in it.
Yeah.
The cast is really good in it.
Uh-huh.
Gore's really cool.
Yeah.
Everything is really good.
Gore's maybe the best part of the movie.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun movie. I think you should go see it. I understand that we are probably communicating a lot now non-verbally with you through tone and body posture. Don't take this the wrong way. That's the spoiler section. That's what we're going to talk about in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
The main thrust is listen to the words, go see this film.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy it.
It's a hoot.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. People are really good at it. I already said that part. It's colorful. The Guardians are in it.
Yeah. I think we need to just rock it.
I
think
feel this is the shortest non-spoiler section of a movie review we've ever done.
Yes. The long and the short of it, we had a good time.
We did have a good time. You should really go see it this weekend or maybe next weekend.
All right.
Really enjoy it.
Spoilers!
Okay. Why that last section was super weird. I'm very whelmed by this movie.
Whelmed. Yeah.
And the thing is, we tried to figure out why on the way home.
It was a real quiet train ride
It
for the
was
two of us.
You know what? Before we get to the reasons why, let's probably just point out the really good things about this movie.
Okay, great.
Because there's a lot of them.
Yes.
I'll start. Okay?
Yeah.
The black and white scene when everyone goes to like the necro area.
Shadow
The
Realm?
Shadow Realm, yes.
Yeah.
Everything turns black and white. It's very well done. And when they use their like Mjolnir and the Thunderbolt or whatever.
Mjolnir.
What did I say? Mjolnir?
Mjolnir?
Yeah, you throw a J in there.
That's the whole point, is that you don't pronounce
Oh,
it.
it's a soft J.
Mjolnir?
Yeah, Mjolnir.
No, it's Mjolnir.
Mjolnir? Meow
It's
meow?
meow meow.
Meow meow.
That's why they say meow meow.
When they use meow meow and the Thunderbolt, there's a little bit of color, like just around. It was
awesome.
Very well done. When they're fighting the shadow creatures on that small moon, which is much like a Mario Galaxy level, like it really like.
Yeah.
It was really like it was
The
very
art
well
style was incredible. Like the all of the set pieces, everything is very well imagined, very well done. The art style of the entire film, just A+. A+.
New Asgard being a tourist attraction.
Hilarious.
With
Great.
rides and the play going on about like this is how we got to where we are, and Melissa McCarthy's in it.
Yes.
That part, great.
I will say that sequence actually plays into some of my concerns with the movie, but we'll get there.
Thor's child army, awesome. I'm not really realizing that's probably a horrible term, but that's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
It was, and honestly, after he kind of deputized everybody, I honestly thought for a second that they all might get tiny little Thor outfits. Which...
I like that they didn't, though.
Yes, but wouldn't it have also been kind of cool if they did? But having them, like, because Thor's like leading these kids into like a big battle, like, Thor, he's gonna die. Like, they're gonna die. It's cute they all got like sticks and stuff, and like, and one kid's got a teddy bear, but like, they're gonna die? Oh, you're gonna imbue them with power? Awesome.
Neat.
And the kids kicked ass! That part was amazing!
It was incredible.
It was, and that one kid's like, ah! It was very well done.
Yeah.
That scene was a lot of fun. Natalie Portman, her arc throughout the movie was great.
Yeah.
I think she had probably the best arc. She was the best character of the movie.
I would, yeah. I mean, I would think.
Besides Gore.
I think they developed Gore more than anyone in this movie.
Natalie Portman did a great job. So the question is, why is this movie only okay? Because it really is.
I know why.
Okay, I have a lot of different ideas, but what's your main?
My main crux is that the Thor that we end up with at the end of this movie really isn't that much different of a person than when he started this movie. The beginning of this movie with all the gore stuff was incredible.
Yep.
And then all of the stuff getting Thor up to speed into the storyline that we were doing here was rushed, and it was not developed fully. I don't know what our main character learned throughout this movie, and I know that's an oversimplification of expectation, but in these kind of movies, the character growing and evolving and changing, like, yes, like all the Jane stuff was really impactful. I'm sure that affected him, but there was no theme to it in any way. It just was plot that just happened. The fact that, like, we're not getting any different Thor here, for me, I'm like, okay, I guess we're back to square one with Thor, except he's got a little girl now he's hanging out with. That's cool. But, like, all of the stuff with the Guardians just felt like a joke machine, and it could have been impactful.
When we were at the end, sorry to interrupt right here, but
No,
I think this part's really important. At the end of Endgame, when everyone's going their separate ways, and like, whoa, we've been shaped by that battle, and holy crap, what do we do next? Everyone's going to go their separate ways and kind of learn and grow from this experience. So we've had a lot of shows about characters growing from after the events of Endgame and dealing with the ramifications thereof. Thor went off with the Guardians to figure out his stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like we were robbed
of him actually learning some things from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes.
Why were they even in this movie?
Why were they even in the movie? Like, it didn't.
Nebula had a line too. She wanted to shoot one of the screaming goats, Tooth Gnasher, and the other one. Fantastic. That joke was played perfectly throughout the whole thing. It was played perfectly.
All of the jokes were great. If anything, and it's like we were saying with the play, I was like, all of that stuff was hilarious. Do you know what I didn't need? Matt Damon being back, being like, should we write a play about this? I was like, nah. I was like, no. I was like, this isn't, I was like, you're overplaying your jokes here. Like, I wanted to...
You wanted more weight to everything.
Yeah, I just don't necessarily feel like much of this movie really mattered. And it frustrates me because the Jane storyline is really good, and I feel like all the other stuff just didn't support it to give it the weight. Because I got a little emotional when Jane went.
Oh,
a little.
Sure.
But I
felt like that could have been... I could have been milked way
it's
more.
It's me, you guys. It's Jay Schmidt. I cry at most things. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. I was like, it should have, that's the kind of thing that should have demolished me. But I just don't feel like the rest of the movie supported that in a way. I don't know, it just, this movie didn't have, there was no thematic, like, through line here. There was no lesson learned by anyone.
They were trying, and they did a decent job of hitting the same note of, like, people... learning lessons about love, better to love than lost than to never loved at all, dealing with grief, dealing with loss. Like, they did go over that a bunch of times, which was good.
It's almost as if you would have a character that could have a conversation with him about complications of the love in his life, being from another, timeline or dimension now. Like, it's almost as if you had plenty of opportunity to, like, maybe the reason that Jane and Thor broke up was because, like, it was getting to a point where they maybe were going to start a family and he wasn't really ready to have a kid yet, and so he kind of bailed emotionally. And then all of your actions past that with dealing with, like, getting the kids back, inspiring the children to fight, and inevitably getting a daughter out of the whole thing could have been a huge deal for Thor. Well, I'm not trying to get into the coulda and shoulda of this.
Of course.
I understand it was what it was. I'm not trying to be the Marvel fan that's like, well, it could have been. I'm like, but from a storytelling perspective, and that's what it always comes down to for the two of us.
Yeah.
That I'm like, structurally, your story doesn't get me anywhere. And when you have a character who is mythology, literally and figurative, in the modern comic book sense, but also in the like classic Norse mythology sense. There needs to be, I sometimes expect Thor to be some kind of a morality play, but we got none of that here.
There was, and it's interesting you said that, because there was a small moment in that flashback of how Jane and Thor's relationship broke apart, where Thor, they were window shopping or whatever, they're walking down the street, and Thor stops at that window and sees a couple with a baby, and he's staring at the kid for a second. But that moment, that...
Too subtle by half.
Exactly. It was too subtle by half. It was too subtle by half. It just... I felt... this movie is just... Well, with credits... And by the way, there are 2 after-credit scenes, in case you guys didn't know. The movie just runs just under 2 hours. So with the credits... It's probably like an hour 50.
And which frustrates me because it needed an extra half hour.
This movie should have been 2 hours and 20 minutes.
And I would have pleasantly and loved to have sat through a 2.5 hour Thor movie that was structured better.
It should have been the same length as the final Stranger Things episode.
Yeah.
Because this movie needed more time. Because it really needed more time. Because it raced through the first act. And we were told...
Like at a sprint.
Gore kills a bunch of gods off screen. Jane becomes Thor off screen.
I would love just one, like, we saw, like, I know that shot's from the comic, but like the big like monster and like being like, oh, he was one of the nicest gods you've ever met. It was like, I would have loved to have seen that sequence. That would have been probably pretty cool. Lady Sif could have had an action scene and got her arm cut off, but it was all off screen.
And I'm glad Sif's alive. I'm glad Jamie Alexander's still in there. Give her a metal arm. Thor had one in the comics. And let's
send
keep
an
going.
Asgardian to Wakanda. We all want to get her an arm.
I want more Jamie Alexander in Thor's universe. Please bring her back and not just be as a sword teacher. But like a lot of stuff was told in that first act just to get things going. And then when Thor shows up in New Asgard and Gore is attacking them and Mighty Thor just shows up, like I would have loved to see the Hammer, actually talk to Jane or whisper to her in that lab. Not just like, oh, there are books. No, like, Jane. Figure something, and then she sees the pieces moving, and then wouldn't it have been awesome to see the Hammer reforge and her actually pick it up for the first time?
And have her,
people
figure out how she's Thor.
Yes! And have people freak out about it.
She shows up in media res as Thor, and we're like, okay. Like, I would have loved to see New Asgard be like, you're not Thor, you're a lady. And then, like, dealing with that kind of thing, like...
Valkyrie was cool with it. By the time she shows up,
but everyone would have
she's been here for a while.
It's the kind of thing where it's... I just feel like we missed that development of her... Because the whole concept is her that, like, she wants to be Thor because, like, it's getting her away from this thing. But, like, we don't see her get to, like, be well again and be okay. Like, it's really frustrating because, like, man, if, like, another Thor showed up, New Asgard would lose their minds. Like, they wouldn't know what to do. It would be crazy. And it'd be really fun to see, like, her figure out how to do this stuff. But, like, she's just Thor. And it's like...
And it was awesome, but I would love to see her learn to just a couple of baby steps of trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's some missed opportunities here with this movie.
A lot of missed opportunities. But that being said...
It's still a really good time.
I mean, the settings were cool. Them going to fight Zeus was really awesome. That fight sequence was incredible with all the gold blood. That was
Oh, yeah. No,
awesome.
were those guards... like automatons or
I don't
people?
know, but they had gold blood.
They did.
And it was crazy. It was awesome.
Which made me think they were killing people. Because like when Gore at the beginning, Gore seemed at the beginning is like, yeah, I'm on Gore's side. Yeah, man, kill that guy. Screw that guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he was bleeding gold. So like, oh crap, were they just killing normal people guards?
Mm-hmm.
Buds.
Buds.
But here, a thought I had on the way home of what... This movie didn't really have any weight to it.
No.
Because it didn't spend enough time giving us the weight of, like, Gore killing all these gods on, maybe slightly on screen, maybe, a little off, but just, like, we didn't see a whole lot of ramifications of Gore's kind of murder spree /
No.
on a grander scale nothing's going on in the Marvel Universe right now.
Yeah.
Which, when we the first...
That's not true, though. Strange, like, went through the multiverse. Like, there are things happening. This just feels so pleasantly removed from all of it.
Sure. I guess what I'm trying to say is, Phase 4 right now, while there's a lot of really good stuff out there, the shows have been, for the most part, really good, very good.
Yeah.
The misses are still hits, and they're solid Bs. Even though the ones don't hit as hard as the other ones. The movies, like Shang-Chi, was amazing.
Yeah.
Black Widow was okay. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, and it works. If you put it in chronological order, totally works. It's been fine. Was there another movie? I don't remember if there was another movie. Far From Home. Best movie so far of Phase 4.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
There's no way that's not.
That's very.
Yeah.
And Multiverse of Madness.
Multitude of Multiverse of Madness.
Was fun. WandaVision Season 2 was good.
Yeah.
But they're all just kind of...
It is time
just
for the
kind of
adventurers to run into town and just see Strahd. It is time for us to know, it is time for them to start circling the drain of what our big bad of this next phase is going to be. It's time.
Or just, not even, Jay and I, as we walked by the subway, I mentioned that Phase 1, from the very beginning of the MCU, there has always been a guiding principle about what's been going on. In Iron Man, it was like, hi, I'm Nick Fury, or Nick Fury, as Thor has him in his phone. I'd like to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. Holy crap, what? We knew all the movies coming out were leading towards that one thing. And then Thanos shows up in Avengers. Now we're leading towards Infinity War and Endgame for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
Incredible. Everything was in purpose of moving everything, inches by some, miles by others.
Still early on in that, I would imagine we're going to get comments being like, you guys are expecting too much too soon.
Possibly, but just, if Iron Man nailed it in the Avengers Initiative. At this point, is there? It has to be. It doesn't have to be the thing that's actually going to be at the next.
No,
it's something that gives a little bit.
It's time to click into going up the roller coaster.
Yes,
we need to hit that first click. All right, here we go.
Just something that gives us a narrative direction of where things are going. Doesn't have to be the main thing, but just multiverse, Kang, possibly. That's what Loki did. But but it's still kind of doing its own thing right now.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of just.
I just don't. For me, this film did not indicate to me why this, from how I just don't know how this evolved the character really in any way. Because the thing is that this last one we saw it was a much different vibe. We got a much different Thor. They were clearly setting a new tone for what this character was. And then we get this and it's just more of the same. And it's not. I just don't know where we go from here with just the character.
Yeah.
Which frustrates me because
Thor is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Well, it's Chris Hemsworth. He's just fantastic.
He's a hoot, man. But also, you got to remember that this is also the first character getting a fourth movie. Mm-hmm. So, and to me, it did not show me why it needed to exist, other than to have fun, which I did.
Yes, this is purely what all this discussion basically is. Is even though we had a really good time, we both left the movie kind of a little empty inside. And and it was also the fact that we're living in a time where there are just bangers coming out left and right. Stranger Things Season 4. Holy crap, that was just a fantastic piece of...
But because it was emotionally well-structured.
Yep,
It was storyline well-structured.
Yep, The Boys. Holy crap, this is what a ride. This is a nannerboats ride.
But it's structured well.
Moon Knight. Whoa! We didn't know anything about Moon Knight when it started, and by the end we're like, oh my god, it's Jake! It's just, everything has been, and starting Far From Home, just 7 months ago, right? It's the past 6 months have been just a wash in just amazing content, well-written stuff, and this just kind of is because the last movie was really good, and I liked where Thor was when we last saw him. Like, this is going to be a fun journey of seeing him get back to being a hero. And it just felt like those first steps kind of, whoop, we got past them.
Yeah.
And then so the later steps didn't have as much narrative weight as they would have if we spent a little time at the beginning being like...
It also frustrates me because I was excited to see Thor in a Guardians movie.
Yes.
I honest to God, like, this was fine, but I would have rather have seen a third Guardians movie before this. And I know we're saying a lot of like woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. And
sure.
Are we backseat cowboying or quarterbacking, whatever the term is, in a pretty spectacular fashion? Yes. But the long or the short of it is, you nailed every aspect of this movie other than the thing that, in my opinion, that actually really matters.
The emotional weight.
Yeah. This is a house with a bad, like, it's a house with like kind of a rocky foundation that is decorated spectacularly. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the long or the short of it. I was like, well, it's not gonna stand for very long, but wow, it's pretty. It's a nice sculpture, this movie.
Again, it's a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. I hope that, like, I honestly thought the last after credits scene was, I'm glad that they did what they did with Natalie Portman being like, hey, welcome to Valhalla. I honestly thought Valkyrie was going to show up and just like, excuse me, and that's all we needed to say. Yeah. Because she just needed to be like, sorry, Jane, and then cut to black. That's it. Mm-hmm. Thor will return. They just said Thor will return. They didn't say which Thor. I hope and honestly, I hope she comes back. I hope they pull, because that's what they did in the comics. Jane dies in the comics, and then goes to Valhalla, and they pull her, they pull her right back. Like, sorry, you're not done yet, because she did great in this movie. I hope she had fun. I hope she would like to come back, because I think she would do a great job if she came back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very interested to see what you guys have to think about this movie.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is a much larger conversation of like, what was the thing? It was a very tasty stew. There was that one thing that's missing. I think we're circling it a little bit, but something.
For me, it's just they didn't start the movie on the right foot. That's it. Like the first act, I think the second and third act are right on the money. I just think if you set everything up properly in the first act, you're fine. Like, the majority of the first act is Thor, like, kicking all of those, like, werewolf chicken butt, and that's great. That sequence was incredible.
That was incredible.
But also,
he kicked the thing. That was cool.
There was no setup of, like, what Thor was trying to do. Like, there was kind of, like, the conversation between him and Star-Lord a little bit, but it just, like, fell flat, and it was like, you're not really...
It felt forced a little bit,
You need to find something. It's like, call your shot, man. Call your shot, and they don't do it. It's just kind of, it's very amorphous. It's very kind of, why would you send him with the Guardians if it's just going to be a punchline for 10 minutes that he's with the Guardians and they don't really want him? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But overall, still enjoyed it. Still a lot of fun. The child Thor army, it's a great sequence. It's very good.
Yeah. I just think, like, when you have movies like Shang-Chi that come out that are, like, so, like, from a storytelling perspective, like, the beats are all there, structured perfectly. I know it's an origin story, so, honestly, it's a little bit easier to land that plane.
Sure.
But at the same time, like, and I was telling Adam this, I was like, for Marvel movies with me, the unique thing about them is that I will see them more than once. I very rarely like to watch things over again. I don't. Once I see it, I'm like, got it, awesome, what's the new thing? But with Marvel stuff, I want to go again.
Yeah.
This movie, I don't need to see it again. I got it.
Yeah. I mean, this could have been like a Dark Knight Rises. Like, our hero is down and out. Mm-hmm. He's trying to figure his way back.
Yeah.
From which a little bit happened in Endgame, but like he was still like, yeah, I still need to figure my stuff out, and I feel like we were just a little bit robbed of that initial journey of those first few steps back into, maybe, yeah, you know what, I should be working out. I should go back and move the chains of Surtur and, like, bench press his skull a little bit.
I would love to jump rope with a length of of Groot's arm.
Yeah.
And putting up plates with Drax and like all sorts of stuff. Like I just feel like
that would have been great.
I just if it's me and I'm doctoring the script, it's like I think you have the Thor as a parent thing right there in front of you, and they just didn't do it. But again, I'm not saying I know better. Taika Waititi's an incredible director.
He is.
The shots were incredible.
It was.
The jokes landed.
Very good, yeah.
Maybe too much Korg, but that's what happens. I just think this movie is what happens when everyone falls in love with that movie so hard that they try to do it again too hard.
Possibly. I mean, I did get a little upset when I thought Korg was dead. Like, oh God, oh no, oh no.
Because it's easy to get.
I'm glad he's not. And it was like really like, oh wait, he's narrating, he's fine.
Because it was the pendulum swing of that movie that made it so popular, and then it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to like. You know who's very good at that? James Gunn. James Gunn, like, Guardians came in and kind of changed the game a little bit, and the second one came around, and it could very well have been leaned into...
A little too much of it.
But it didn't.
It did not.
It still kept... That is the perfect example of, like, a very thematically strong movie. And it makes Guardians 2. It's still my favorite Marvel. I'm just thinking about it.
Well, Volume 3 comes out next year.
It's been too long.
It has been a little too long. But there's a Christmas special this year. So we're not done with the Guardians yet this year.
Oh, is there really?
Christmas special, the Guardians Christmas special will be out at the end of the year. Yep. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, that's gonna be great. That sounds awesome, actually. Yep. All right, I think we've said our piece.
I think we have. If you guys have different opinions on what is missing, or maybe it's like, oh, everything's fine, let us know in the comments below, because it just and simply a Discord. We really need, the Discord, the spoiler section of the Discord.
That's where we really can talk.
Because, like, I think we can group think together, like, figure out what exactly.
I didn't dislike the movie. It's such a frustrating.
If this was that other movie I just can't think of that I'm pretty sure I remember not liking, that would be one thing.
If only there was 40 minutes of us taking
whatever movie that was.
We're not doing that.
No, that's why it's so frustrating, because like we like you, we want what happened? We love you so much.
Is it about you that I just? Is it cinnamon? Is it nutmeg in there? What is it? What cardamom? Cardamom. Turmeric.
Fun fact: if you guys didn't see it in the credits, the Gore's daughter is Hemsworth's daughter.
I think that's actually very sweet.
It's very sweet. Just get out of here! What was it? Demon spawn at the end there. And she's powered by infinity or whatever,
dude.
Because that shot
of her
reflection
was
like, I know that's straight out of the comics, but like just seeing it live action was like, that's very good. Oh wow,
that was very good.
That is very well done.
Yeah.
Woo. Yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, that dynamic is awesome if you set it up that, like, Thor wasn't really ready to be a dad, and then he had to learn how to, it's forced upon him, and then it's basically you can three men and a little baby with him, Star-Lord, and Rocket Raccoon. Come on! Never mind.
It's all good. Do you want to give this movie a rating, Jay?
This one's getting exactly what the trailer got. This one's getting 2 out of 2. Good goats. Them goats. Got it done. Good job, goats. Great bit. Some great bits in this one, man.
Dude, when they crashed into that little baby moon, like, boom. It was the perfect amount of time before the screen.
Yes. Yes. So many things.
Can we redo the Taylor Swift joke from her that song? I knew you picked up when you walked in.
That was not Taylor Swift,
wasn't it? Yeah, it is.
That's Miley Cyrus.
Oh, it was Miley Cyrus?
I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
Yeah, right? And then the goat screams when she does in the bridge.
Boom, boom, boom.
Ah! But with Tooth Gnasher.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
That's great.
Okay, guys. Let us know what you think of this movie.
Don't crucify us in the comments, okay?
No, I don't think. I think we did a very good job of like laying out like different issues we had with the movie, even though we really liked it. Trying to figure out what was missing.
We want to have a conversation about it. We're not here to have you yell at us.
I don't think anyone's gonna yell at us.
They're not gonna yell at us.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
You weren't there for Eternals, man. You blacked out. I was awake the whole time.
What?
What?
I think you know what? Maybe Doctor Strange performed a spell on me or something that I have forgotten a whole movie.
It's when we had a conversation with somebody at a party the other day, not a party but a wedding, about what random opinion will you go to the mat about? I'm like, oh yeah, when people tell me that Eternals was a good movie, I want to fight them. I want to just all right,
Flare up.
All right. Nope, not in my house. It's so irrational. It's not okay. I am not standing by myself here. I'm not. But it's like when people tell me they're like, "Oh, Big Lebowski's stupid." I'm like, nope. All right, it's a great movie. It's fun.
All the links down below. And while you're down there, please subscribe, and hit that bell.
Do that YouTube. That you do. So welcome all these extra. you hammer throwing weirdos, you.
Other video is popping up, right?
Yeah.
Please watch this. We would appreciate it as much as we appreciate you watching this one. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.